If you clicked on this video, chances are you've got a feeling, a gut instinct. Something feels off and you're not sure if it's all in your head or if she's actually cheating on you. Well, you're in the right place because today we're breaking down the 10 real signs that something isn't right. Some of these are subtle, others are painfully obvious, but all of them matter. Let's get into it if you liked the video. Sign 1, she suddenly becomes too busy for you. You used to be a regular part of her day. Texts, calls, plans all flowed naturally, but now she's always too busy. Suddenly her schedule is packed with work, errands, or mysterious new commitments. And when you try to make time for her, she's either vague or dismissive. Here's the thing, when someone wants you in their life, they make time. Busy is never the real reason, it's about priority. If she's consistently putting everything ahead of you, especially when she never used to, it's a red flag you shouldn't ignore. And watch closely. Is she too tired to see you but somehow finds energy to hang out with others? Does she cancel your plans but posts pictures at places you weren't invited to? This pattern doesn't lie. People don't drift by accident. They distance themselves when they're investing their time and attention somewhere else. People make time for what they want. Everything else is just an excuse. Sign 2, less intimacy, more distance. You used to share everything. Touch, eye contact, playful teasing. It all felt natural, but now she barely holds your hand. She dodges kisses. Her hugs feel cold and quick, like checking off a box. Physical closeness starts to fade, and so does emotional connection. At first, you might think she's just tired or stressed, and hey, life gets busy, fair. But when this becomes the new normal and the warmth just doesn't come back, it's a signal. A relationship without intimacy isn't just cooling off, it's drifting. It's not about needing fireworks every day, but when even the spark disappears, something deeper is off. If she avoids cuddling, stops initiating anything physical, or seems emotionally checked out, pay attention. The body speaks what the heart is too afraid to say. Distance doesn't lie, it reveals the truth. Sign 3, she guards her phone like it's Fort Knox. There was a time when her phone would be lying around, unlocked, face up, without a second thought. Now, it's always face down, password protected, and glued to her hand like it holds national secrets. If she suddenly becomes overly protective of her phone, locking it every time you walk in, taking it into the bathroom, or flipping the screen when you're near, something's off. It's not just about privacy. Everyone deserves personal space, sure. But when transparency is replaced with secrecy, the dynamic shifts. She might start texting more at night, smiling at messages she won't explain, or stepping out to take private calls. These aren't just habits, they're signs of emotional disconnection and potential betrayal. People hide what they don't want you to see. And when the phone becomes a vault, you have to ask, what's she locking away? When someone hides their world from you, it's because you're no longer the center of it. Sign 4, you catch her in small lies. It usually starts with something tiny. She says she was at home, but her friend's story doesn't match. She says she didn't see your call, but you saw her active online. These small inconsistencies might seem harmless at first, but they point to something deeper. She's hiding something. People lie for 2 reasons: to protect someone's feelings or to cover their tracks. In this case, it's usually the second. When someone starts lying about little things, it's often because they're testing the waters, seeing how much they can get away with. And if you let those lies slide, they only get bigger. You might feel like you're overthinking, but when your gut tells you something's off and you keep catching her in these innocent lies, it's a red flag you can't ignore. Trust doesn't break all at once. It cracks slowly with every lie, every half-truth, every excuse. The truth always comes out, one way or another. Sign 5, she mentions a new friend a lot. At first, it sounds innocent. She's got a new friend, someone from work, the gym, or that random social event she went to. You want to be chill, open-minded, but then you realize she brings this guy up in almost every conversation. She talks about how funny he is, how they just click, how he totally gets her. It's constant. Now, here's the thing. When someone is emotionally or physically connecting with someone new, they often can't help but talk about them. It's basic psychology. The more they're thinking about that person, the more they slip into everyday conversations. And the worst part? You'll notice she compares you to him, even if she doesn't say it directly. She laughs harder at his jokes. She lights up when telling stories about him. She suddenly has inside jokes you're not part of. That friend is slowly replacing you, and she doesn't even realize or admit it yet. When someone's name keeps coming up, it's rarely by accident. Sign 6, her routine suddenly changes. Routines say a lot about people, especially in relationships. If your girlfriend suddenly starts changing her schedule without clear reasons, it might be more than just a new hobby. Maybe she used to call you during lunch breaks or spend her Sundays with you, and now she's busy or out with friends more often than usual. These shifts might seem small at first. Coming home later, taking more solo trips, being vague about where she's been. But when they pile up, they paint a different picture. Consistency creates trust. When someone's habits change overnight, it's worth asking what's causing the shift, especially if her new routine doesn't include you anymore. Maybe she's working out more, staying out later, or suddenly being super protective of her free time, but not inviting you into it. When someone is emotionally checking out, their physical habits usually follow. People make time for what matters. If you're no longer in her calendar, you're probably no longer on her mind. Sign 7. She stops talking about the future. In any serious relationship, there's usually some talk about the future, plans for trips, living together, starting something new. It doesn't have to be big or dramatic, but there's a sense of we. You talk about next summer, your anniversary, or even small things like what to binge watch next month. But when a girl is emotionally pulling away, those conversations disappear. Suddenly, everything is I instead of we. She avoids future talk, changes the subject when you bring it up, or responds with vague answers like, "We'll see," or "I don't want to think about that right now." It's subtle, but the message is loud. She's no longer picturing you in her future. This shift often means she's emotionally checked out, or emotionally checked into something or someone else. People don't plan the future with someone they're planning to leave, so when the future becomes a blank space, don't ignore it. When someone stops making plans with you, it's because they're making them with someone else. Sign 8. She picks fights over nothing. You used to laugh over little things. Now, she snaps over them. You forgot to text back in 5 minutes. It turns into a full-blown argument. You didn't notice her new hairstyle? She says you don't care about her anymore. Suddenly, everything feels like walking on eggshells, and the peace you once had is now replaced by constant tension. Here's the harsh truth. When someone wants to create distance, they often start unnecessary fights to justify it. These arguments aren't about the dishes or your tone. They're a cover, a way to feel less guilty about pulling away. If she's cheating or emotionally invested in someone else, these fights give her an excuse to detach further. It's psychological self-defense. By making you the bad guy, she can rationalize her actions. And you're left confused, wondering what went wrong, blaming yourself when it was never about you in the first place. Constant conflict is often a silent exit strategy. Sign 9. She's suddenly glowing up, but not for you. She used to wear whatever around you. Now she's hitting the gym, dressing better, posting more selfies, and you're barely a part of it. A glow up can be about self-love, sure. But when it comes with more distance and less affection towards you, it might mean she's trying to impress someone else. Maybe she's changing her style, wearing perfume more often, or updating her socials nonstop. But when these changes come with coldness and you feel more like a roommate than a partner, it's time to pay attention. People don't usually transform for no reason. If she's glowing up but dimming around you, ask yourself why. She's not shining for you anymore. So who is she shining for? Sign 10. Your gut just knows. Sometimes you don't need proof, you just feel it. Her energy is different. The way she looks at you, the way she talks, the vibe, it's off. Your gut might not speak in words, but it screams when something's wrong. You notice the tension, the avoidance, the emotional disconnection. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's loud, but your instinct knows before your brain catches up. Don't ignore it. That unease is often your subconscious picking up on patterns your conscious mind hasn't fully processed yet. The heart may be fooled, but the gut rarely is. If you've noticed some of these signs, don't ignore your gut. The truth might hurt, but it also sets you free. If you found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe, because here, Bob tells it like it is.